As leaders, we are accountable to something. Whether we're accountable to people, but we may also be accountable to the vision and mission that our organization has put forth. And so, regardless of whether you have somebody above you, a boss, or somebody that is you are answering to, you need to answer the call. You need to be there to answer the vision, and that everything's actually going as you proposed, as you envisioned, as you have desired. You have an accountability to that. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast. Thanks for joining me on another episode. I am very grateful you're joining me as we together continue to learn, grow, and activate, everything we're learning, and we're putting it into practice so we can impact and we can lead better. And so I appreciate you joining me. Hope this is making you not only think, but it's helping you share it with other people. So if you care to pass it on, please share, comment, and let us know what you're thinking so we can continue to produce some content that applies to you and actually impacts the arena that you get to lead in. And so I wanted to bring an episode today on talking about leading from the middle. And it's something I've been chewing on because as all the leadership things that I talk about, I've either learned it from somebody, learned it the hard way, learned it from experience, by doing it well, by doing it badly. All of that comes together. And this leading from the middle idea is something that I've realized that I have practiced quite a bit, and the whole heart behind this is that actually I think every leader should learn to lead from the middle. Now, let me unravel this a little bit and explain what I'm talking about. A lot of the time when we're talking about leadership, people think it's all about authority, about power, about being at the top, about being in charge. And you know my thoughts about that. I've expressed them often enough to tell you that leadership is not just about being in charge, not by being a dictator or by being in control. There's more to that, and we can go down the list, right? The leadership is about serving, about loving people, about helping people, adding value by investing in people. Leadership is about moving forward and bringing vision and goals and dreams together, about impact. And it's not just about you, but it's about the people, not about the vision and the company only, but about the people that serve. And so we can unravel that so much, but sometimes that's going to take an understanding on how to lead from the middle, how to lead in the tension of the people you serve and potentially the people you answer to. Now you're going, well, I'm a leader. I'm at the top. I don't answer to anybody. Well, here, come with me on this journey and I'll explain to you a few things. So first of all, as I reflect, I think about times where I've had to lead from the middle, and almost every situation that I lead in, I'm leading from the middle. I remember, starting a bit of an outreach group, student group back in high school. Well, I was leading in the tension of representing the students and representing the school and the teachers and the people above me that were allowing me to use rooms and things, and making sure that we were in line with school rules. There was a tension in between that. As I move forward, when you think about starting a small business, you're leading in the middle with the tension of potentially your staff and the service that you have and what you're trying to execute forward, and the customer that is asking you for a specific thing. And so you're always managing, and you're always leading in this tension of I need to execute the service in this way, but I'm also answering and making sure that I'm serving the people that are receiving that service. For the last handful of years or more here, I've served on boards. And one thing that I have noticed, and at different stages of my life, that there's been opportunities for me to lead groups of people where they're smarter than me, uh, older than me. They're maybe in their profession and their career more advanced than me. They have an understanding of certain things that we're talking about that I'm not qualified in, but yet I'm in a role where I get to lead these people. I serve in a nonprofit organization where there's doctors, and they are definitely way more brilliant than I am, and they understand some of the topics and stuff that we're talking about more than I do. I serve in this organization where I'm not the founder. I am not even the executive director. I haven't been there from day one, but yet I'm serving in a leadership capacity that gets to lead people that are smarter than me. I mean, you've heard the whole quote, you've heard the whole idea. Yeah, you need to be in rooms that where you're not the smartest person in the room. And that is a true statement, and I value that, and I encourage you to consider that. You never want to be the smartest person in the room. And in that process, you're going to learn and you're going to grow. But that doesn't mean that if you're not the smartest person in the room that you can't lead. I tell you, one of my strong points have been to be an encourager, to learn leadership qualities where I learn how to serve people, how to invite people into conversation, how to acknowledge them, how to make them feel part of a team. And that goes beyond the task at hand. It goes having people skills and be able to unite people and be able to have some critical thinking, and also learning how to get through challenges, learn how to problem solve. That's what great leaders do. And it's going to put you in rooms where people want to follow you. When you respect them, when you acknowledge them, when you value them, people want to follow you as a leader. And so I've learned that from different capacities that I've led. I've been in scenarios where I was the youngest board member and everybody else was older than me, but yet I was in the chair role, and I was able to lead up. I was able to lead down and across, right, to my peers. So leadership is fun that way, and there's an art behind that. And so knowing how to lead from the middle is important, because you're always going to have attention. Remember, leadership is not about just taking a walk in the park and smooth sailing and everything is going fine, smelling the roses, enjoying the sunshine, and everything just perfect. No, leadership is required, because anytime people are involved, there's always a potential for conflict and something needing to be resolved. And so that's where you're needed. If everything is going smooth and nothing ever goes as wrong or badly, why do they need you? We are needed as leaders so we can help in the tension and be able to guide and direct and make sure we bring back everybody on course and remind them of why we're on this journey. And so leading from the middle is super important, and understanding that you're not being called to be the top dog or just to be able to stand at the top and preach and command and demand things. No, we're here to be able to invite people on a journey to have clarity on the direction we're heading. Now, maybe you're thinking, hey, Walter, but I've started a business and I am the top dog. I'm the founder. I am the CEO. I don't have anybody to answer to. But I would push back and tell you that you do. You have customers. You have the people you're serving that you answer to. It's not a popular belief, but I believe that you're the one that works for the people that are your employees and the people that work for you. You actually are there to serve them. They are not there to serve you. And so it's a bit of a mental shift. But even on another way of thinking, as leaders, we are accountable to something. Whether we're accountable to people, but we may also be accountable to the vision and mission that our organization has put forth. And so regardless of whether you have somebody above you, a boss, or somebody that is you are answering to, you need to answer the call. You need to be there to answer the vision, and that everything's actually going as you proposed, as you envisioned, as you have desired. You have an accountability to that, and that puts you in the tension of leading from the middle. And so when you're leading, you have to understand that one of the biggest attributes and one of the things that you exercise and practice as a leader is accountability. We've talked about being a responsible leader. We talked about being a servant leader, all that. But being an accountable leader is ultra important, because that is the weight a leader holds that keeps them on the right track. And when leaders release that or don't hold on to that, it's when things get messy and leaders get into trouble. But if you can keep that at the forefront, hey, no, when I wake up every morning, I get to lead in different capacities. I have this vision, I have this mission, I have this mandate that I answer to, but I also have people that I answer to. When I'm working in a nonprofit organization, I think about the mandate that we have to help people. And it always comes around to helping people. It always comes around to having people involved. And so if you're one of those leaders that are trying to separate yourself from that, stop doing that. Embrace the call that leadership is the invite of having people around you and you guiding and directing them to a better future. And so understanding that we're accountable to someone or to something is the key to understanding how to lead from the middle. We all get to lead from the middle. And so I want to just encourage you that maybe this is going to take some reflection and humility. We need to get off the pedestal and realize that if you are just wanting control and everything needs to go your way or the highway, and that you are the smartest person in the room and that you know everything, well, I think you need to have an adjustment and you need to get off your high horse, because that's not going to have any longevity in your leadership. You might see some success in the short term, but it won't last. And so if you want to be a leader that leads well, I want you to process and really think about that, because the reality is that if we're going to be successful in anything, it's going to involve other people, and it's going to involve how we serve them, how we love on them, and take care of them. And I assure you that there's nothing wrong regarding that. You will leave a legacy of impact and something that people want to remember you for, not just like, hey, I want to quit. I don't want to be under that leader. I don't want to work there. And sometimes we can have the best vision. We can have the most amazing mission in an organization. But if people are not being treated well, they don't care. They can lose hope. They can lose the energy. They can lose the attitude and perspective that will push them forward, because they are not valued and they feel like they can go somewhere else. And money will not motivate anybody. There's certain scenarios and certain seasons that people go for that, but long term, it's not about that. And what I want to really talk about and want to encourage all of you is that leadership is about longevity. And even if your business or where you work or where the organization you get to lead has a small season in it, well, you get to go with you when you go to the next business, the next job, whatever it is. So you need to make sure that as a leader, you're the one that's staying consistent and growing and learning, and you have integrity and character, because you can remove the job, can remove people away from you. But the problem is that you are stuck with you. That could be a problem, but also that is the other part of the good news, is that you are also the solution. So if you think about that and you reflect on that and realize, okay, I want to embrace this idea and this journey about leading from the middle. I want to be aware that there's people that are responsible to me, that I'm responsible for as well, and that there's things that I'm accountable. I'm accountable to the mission, vision, and people and things in the organization. And I hold this tension together sometimes as a leader. And that's going to be what's going to make things interesting. It's going to involve people that are smarter than me, that I potentially have more experience, that work harder sometimes, that have the ability to make this, whatever it is, successful. I'm going to learn how to lead in that, because sometimes people just need some leadership to be able to execute what they've been called to do. And maybe that's what you've been called to do in this season, is to be that person that brings people together and invites them together on this journey in this community to do something greater. And so I want you to think about that, because I think it's super important, and I think it will change a lot of the things that you do. And if you don't know how to do that, well, then there's resources we can tap into, talking about how to lead better from the middle, because every scenario can be a little bit different. How do we lead up? How do we lead down? How do we lead across? Because that is part of a leader's journey. And so we can talk more about that for sure. But first of all, are you willing to acknowledge that you need to be that type of leader? And so when we can do that, then we can go on the journey of growing and learning and being transformed in ways that you could never imagine. And then, of course, we're going to impact, and we're going to help other people win. We're going to win, because I strongly believe that it's a win-win when the leader leads well. So let's go and lead well. Catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.